Recession? A recession? What are you talking about, a recession? Okay, so let's first define the word recession. The word recession that everyone is talking about, I mean, the news reports it, you read about it, and now I'm talking about it. Recession, as I understand it, would be defined as when the gross domestic product, or the GDP, recedes 2 quarters in a row, meaning it's declining 2 consecutive quarters. And the word when is pretty big here, because that means it would have to happen the first time, which it hasn't yet, then a second time. So 2 consecutive quarters, that would be at least 6 months. So why put so much effort into worrying about it? I'm not saying to ignore it. That would simply be irresponsible. That would be like me letting you cross the street and ignore to tell you that a car was coming so you can get it the heck out of the way. What I am saying is to not let it consume you to where you're just so worried about when and if it's going to happen. Initially it was thought that the recession could happen in 2019, and here we are already in November of 2019. So keep in mind that the soonest that this could happen would be after 2 quarters or 6 months. That would actually be in June of 2020 before it could even happen. And from what I've gathered is that it's unlikely to happen during an election year. So maybe after the election, or could be in 2021, or maybe in 2022. A lot of maybes, shouldas, and couldas, is driving me nuts to where, and with all the headlines, which is why, I finally felt the need to talk about it myself and give my interpretation. See, I'm not an expert in the economy, of course, but if you read and listen to good sources, you can kind of make a good interpretation and form a good opinion on your own. The key here is to get good sources, listen to some experts, and more importantly, just get past the headlines and into the details. Most folks have a short attention span, including myself. But if you can get past the headlines and into the details, it might be a little bit more settling. Some say that, this recession could or will be worse than the 2008 housing crisis. Others say that there's no way that it could be worse than 2008. But if you made it through the 2008 housing crisis, you should be okay, meaning that you're going to make it through. Statistics say that the top 3 triggers for this upcoming recession is, number 1, trade war, or trade policy, the topic of Mexico and China. Does that sound familiar? A stock market correction, which we've seen, day in, day out, and of course the geopolitical, crisis, foreign policy. So where is housing on that list? Housing is number 9 on that list of triggers of this upcoming recession. So I don't see how it can be worse than 2008. I could always be wrong. I'm not an expert, but it surely is going to be different. That's for sure. We can tell already that people are getting scared, housing's starting to slow down. But the last 5 recessions that we've had, there were only two recessions to where the housing prices actually fell. In 2008, of course, we know what all caused that: the high housing crisis and the mortgage meltdown. And in 1991, houses fell into negative 2%, fell into negative 2%. And I don't think anyone knows really when that's going to happen. I gather that there will be jobs lost, and I believe this is where the most worry is. I also believe if you do a good job, work hard, and go to work, and stop complaining about your job, because soon enough you might find yourself without one. If you don't like your job, leave and do yourself a favor and stop holding yourself back. I'm doing what everyone else is doing here. Just gathering information, interpreting as I see it. What I do know is what I've always said, and I made it through the 2008 housing crisis, and I'm in the business directly tied to what caused it. But it was definitely a struggle, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get through it. On more than a few occasions, I thought I was just going to leave the business. But I saw that, I had to make some decisions and make some commitments, to myself, and just keep doing what I enjoy doing. And, I was finally good at something. With a lot of focus and going all in, I did pretty well. What the housing crisis did for us at that point in time was clean up the business and get rid of the folks that, shouldn't have been in the business in the first place. And here we are, looming again in 2017. The rates dropped, the rates increased, 1.25% in less than 1 year. The mortgage business got a good shaking, some banks closed, and a lot of originators had to get out of the business. Today, real estate agents are feeling the squeeze. Most realtors entered the business in 2010 and 2011. When rates were super low, paired with lower home prices, affordability became the catalyst for the next 7 or 8 years. Fast forward to what happened next. The next economic cycle in 2017, where rates rose, housing stalled. Whether you're on the buying side or selling, or on the real estate side of things, or the finance side of housing, you're definitely affected. This is the time where you need to get better at your craft. While others are, just standing around watching the news and hanging around, the very same people that, want to keep you there. Find some new people and make some new connections and solid connections. Be interested in what they're doing, and then find out how you can actually help. I mentioned earlier that I'm definitely not an expert in the economy, but whether it's a recession, a change in administration, politics, whatever, it never mattered to me. I'm not saying that I ignore it, that'd be foolish, but no matter what's going on, I still have to get up every day and make shit happen. Now, my day is good or not so good. My day is, if I have a positive day or not, I gotta, or make a connection or decide to do nothing, that's because of me. It's not because of what Washington is doing, it's because of what you do. If I can't blame myself, or no one should be able to blame anyone for their own shortcomings, that's your own fault or my fault. When good things happen, it's because I set myself and position myself for that to happen. When you position yourself with the right mindset and the right people, because you can't do it alone. There's really nothing that you can't do. When you show up to work and work to work, you're gonna be okay. When you save money and invest, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay if you exercise good debt and live on a budget and stop buying stupid shit. I'm the king of it, but I realize that you just can't keep doing that. And when the sky starts falling again, you can't, there's no one else to blame but yourself. So recession or not, you still need to get up every day and make shit happen. And you won't have to worry about a recession in your own home. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like this video. And please comment. We like to hear from you and offer any suggestions how we could get better. Thank you.